The wind howls across the endless steppes of Central Asia like a soul trapped in chains. In the dead of night, inside a cramped tent of thick hides, young bride Ariana jolts awake. Her heart pounds like a galloping horse, skin prickling with gooseflesh from the icy draft sneaking through the seams. It's not just the wind, it's the thunder of hooves closing in like judgment. Voices of warriors, rough and commanding, slice the darkness. For the Queen, glory to Tomyris. Shadows of men in leather tunics and bronze armor burst into the tent, faces flickering in torchlight. Ariana feels sticky fear on her neck, like sweat mingling with frost. Her hands tremble as she clutches her fiancé's fur, but he's already dragged away, whipped by words and sword threats. Distant laughter mixes with the clank of chains and armor, her own breath shallow and frantic, like a snared deer's. We know Tomyris as the fierce queen who crushed Persian King Cyrus the Great, a symbol of freedom and Scythian might. But do we know the dark price women of her tribe paid for this freedom? The rite of the first night, a ritual that stole every bride's innocence, handing her body to the elite. This isn't myth. It's the hidden truth of Scythian sexual practices under Tomyris, where apparent equality masked systemic rape and degradation. I promise, I'll unveil this shadowy secret that history books bury under tales of warrior glory. But what awaits Ariana this night will shatter everything you thought about ancient Amazons. Subscribe now to uncover the truth. Scythian legends hide in the steppes' shadow. The wind still howls outside, carrying echoes of those warrior footsteps. But now let's step back in time to understand how this night became inevitable. Picture the vast steppes of Central Asia in the 6th century BCE. A sea of grass rippling under the sky like an ocean of green and gold. Here, among the nomadic Scythian tribes, rose camps of white felt tents gleaming in the sun like pearls on the steppes' hide. Horses, their manes adorned with golden plaques and beads, grazed freely, embodying the freedom Scythians prized above all. Warriors, men and women alike, wore dyed leather caftans edged in fur, their arms tattooed with spirals and beasts, marks of strength and unity with nature. At the heart of the camps, ritual fires blazed, where shamans chanted ancestral songs, beating drums of stretched wolfskin. Smoke from sage and juniper rose lazily, mingling with the scent of roasted meat and mare's milk. Women, dubbed Amazons, seemed equal partners here. They hunted with bows, fought on horseback, shaped the tribe's fate. This was a world where honor and courage defined a person, not gender. The steppe air carried children's laughter playing with animal bones, the rustle of wind in the grasses, and the distant thunder of herds. A raw harmony, full of life. At the core of this power stood Tomyris, queen of the Massagetae, a Scythian branch who entered legends as an unbeatable warrior. Imagine her, tall, face weathered by steppe winds, hair braided with enemies' bones. She led her tribes against the Persian Empire, shattering Cyrus the Great's army by the Araxes River. Herodotus, the Greek historian, portrayed her as a mother and avenger, dipping the defeated king's head in a blood-filled sack to punish his conquest lust. To Scythians, she embodied nomad freedom, a philosophy where the tribe lived in symbiosis with nature, honor was sacred, and weakness met death. Under her rule, women appeared liberated. They fought shoulder to shoulder with men, inherited land, chose marriages. Golden artifacts from their tombs, daggers, mirrors, necklaces, speak of wealth and might. Steppe sagas hail Tomyris as guardian of tribal blood, rebel against Eastern tyranny. This image endured, a utopia of warrior nomads, where gender equality was the norm, strength everyone's birthright. But beneath this golden facade, under the grass's whisper and fire's glow, a shadow lurked. Gradually, like mist creeping from the horizon, unsettling whispers emerge. In massage-te camps, where all seemed harmonious, lurked tribal laws as ancient as the steppes themselves, masking control over the most intimate, women's bodies, under tradition's guise. Shamans, chieftains, and Queen Tomyris wielded power not just over war spoils, but life's rights. One was the rite of the first night, not random violence, but a blood-blessing ritual rooted in fertility and purity cults. From legends and archaeological traces, Scythian elites believed a young bride's first night must go to the chosen, chieftains, shamans, or the queen herself, to purify the blood and fortify warrior lineage. This wasn't equality but hierarchy veiled in freedom. Women could fight, but their bodies belonged to the system, Tomyris personified as high priestess and ruler. The law ensured men's loyalty. Who dared defy the queen who crushed Persians? Shaman songs praised it as a gift to steppe goddesses, but whispers told of tears in tents, nights where honor became shackles. Ariana, our young bride, first brushes this darkness during wedding preparations. It's the morning after a storm, air heavy with moisture, earth soft underfoot. In the elder women's great tent, where dried herbs scent mixes with clay lamp smoke, mothers and aunts ready her attire, a long wool dress dyed ochre, braids adorned with river shells. Laughter rings out, but tension hums like a bowstring ready to snap. "It's a gift for the queen," one elder whispers, eyes dodging Ariana's. "The first night will purify your blood, make you worthy of the massage-te. Tomyris commands it, so the tribe stays strong." The words hang like smoke, sticky and heavy. Ariana's stomach twists in a knot. Doubts worm in like steppe grubs. Her fiancé, young warrior Kargan, stays silent when she questions him that evening by the fire. His eyes flee to the horizon, hands clenching a kumis cup, while ritual fire, smoke, wood and animal blood from sacrifices, stings her nostrils, stirring unease. "It's tradition," he mutters finally, voice trembling, betraying fear of chief's wrath. Ariana feels trapped. The step she loved for freedom now closes like a snare. Confusion grips her heart. Why does this equality of Amazons mean degradation? Why must tribal honor claim her body as price? Here the myth crumbles. Scythians, lauded as gender equality pioneers, weren't a warrior utopia. Under Tomyris, called by some the steppe's most perverse queen, their power cult twisted into a system where tradition dominated, humiliating women under sanctity's pretext. She, Cyrus's great avenger, embodied this dark side. As leader and priestess, she decided which bodies to dedicate for the tribe's good. The rite of the first night wasn't archaic superstition, it was policy, controlling fertility and loyalty, where women paid in blood for power's illusion. Archaeologists uncover not just Scythian gold, but women's bones scarred ritually, chosen tattoos, and Herodotus's texts echoing rites Greeks deemed barbaric. Tomyris, battlefield heroine, was tent executioner. Her equality shamed the weak, stole innocence under holiness. But behind this freedom lurked a wolf in sheep's clothing. The steppe system fed on fear and silence. Ariana feels it on her skin. Doubts grow like grass in wind, but tradition drags her into the abyss. What if this night isn't the end, but the start of a greater nightmare? Keep listening, for the truth about Tomyris is just beginning to unfold. Ariana stands at the tent's threshold, wind brushing her dress, carrying scents of smoke and earth. But her mind spins in a vortex of doubt. Now, as the Scythian myth begins to crack, we'll expose the core of this darkness, the system of sexual practices under Tomyris, not chaotic violence, but a precisely woven web of rituals that fed on women's bodies. This wasn't barbarian whim, it was a sacred mechanism of the fertility and power cult, rooted in Scythian beliefs that blood was the source of strength. Queen Tomyris, as supreme priestess and warrior, along with her court of elite Amazons, selected young brides for elite unions. These acts, fused with shamanic rites, aim to strengthen warrior blood, infusing tribal essence from mother to offspring. Herodotus mentions Scythian fertility rituals where women yielded to steppe spirits under chieftains' watch. But archaeology layers darker truths. Kurgan tombs yield bones with ritual scars, amulets symbolizing wombs and phalluses, evidence of a cult where a woman's body was the altar. Tomyris didn't just allow it, she oversaw it, turning the rite of the first night into a control tool. It bolstered tribal loyalty, weeded out weak blood, and solidified her divine authority. This was systemic violence, draped in tradition's robes, where Amazon's equality meant the strong stole innocence from the weak to sustain unity's illusion. The eye mechanism operated like a well-oiled bow, step by merciless step, predictable and ruthless. It began at steppe fairs, grand tribal gatherings held yearly under blazing pyres, where chieftains and shamans selected brides. Envision the scenes, a vast plain dotted with tents, air thick with roasted mutton and fermented kumis smells, merchant laughter blending with ritual drums. Girls in simple linen shifts lined up, faces pale under ochre makeup. Shamans, ancient as the steppe, in fur headdresses with bullhorns, assessed them, measuring height, checking teeth, probing arms for vigor. The chosen, those appearing healthy and fertile, landed on lists of gifts for the queen. Tomyris personally approved selections, dispatching messengers with clay tablets etched in steppe runes. Next came marking. In secluded tents under night's cover, shamans applied tattoos or scars, spiral patterns on bellies or thighs, symbolizing dedication to goddess Tabiti, fire's mother. Bone needles, inked with soot and blood, pierce skin, leaving lifelong brands. The system's ownership mark, invisible to outsiders, but burning like shame for the bearer. Finally, the climax, the night in the royal tent, a massive felt and gold palace where Tomyris and her Amazon attendants received the gift. This wasn't an orgy, but a ceremony. Shamans chanted spells, burning hallucinogenic herbs to summon steppe spirits. The woman was bound with soft thongs to not flee the blessing, and the act, a blend of coercion and ritual, meant to pour the queen's strength into her womb. Afterward, the chosen returned to her fiancé, carrying purified blood, but a soul scarred. Now plunge into the abyss through Ariana's eyes. Her story becomes this machine's mirror. The first wave crashes like an icy gust, humiliation during the examination. It's the day after the elders' whispers at the Massage-Te fair by the Sirdaria. The sun scorches the steppe, but in the shaman's shadowed great tent, Ariana shivers like in a grave. She stands naked, skin quivering from wind slipping through felt gaps, heart hammering like a war drum. The shaman, old as the steppe, face etched with ritual scars, approaches, his hands rough and cold as riverstone, touching her shoulders, hips, belly. For purity, he mutters, but his eyes gleam with power lust. Sweat stench mixes with sharp herbal ointments, sage and bull sacrifice blood, stinging nostrils, churning nausea. Ariana clenches her teeth, shame burning like fire under skin. Her breasts heave in panic, legs buckle as shaman fingers trail lower, testing fertility. Other girls in line murmur prayers, eyes tear-filled, but none protests, the system omnipresent, like steppe air. Emotion chokes Ariana's throat. Degradation sears like acid. Mind screams no, but body freezes in helplessness. This isn't fate, it's mechanism. First wounds opening hell's door. The second wave rolls in slower, but stronger, tightening the noose. The system reveals its scale, proving Ariana isn't alone. Post-examination, marked with red ochre on her wrist, she returns to camp, but whispers multiply like dusk shadows. In women's tents, air heavy with olive lamp smoke, elder Amazons share tales. I was Tomyris's gift 20 moon cycles ago. Her hands cold as sword steel. Hundreds, thousands yearly, from Massagete to Isidones, filled gifts to the queen lists inscribed on ox hides by scribes. Procedures were merciless: seasonal blood taxes, mandatory checks measuring belly growth, verifying tattoos, punishing the barren with exile or worse. In grand camps like those by Araxes, special purification tents rose, lined with polished bronze mirrors for spirits to witness the act. Ariana hears this in darkness, lying beside another chosen, a young widow named Zara, voice trembling like wind-tossed leaf. She takes not just the night, but the soul. My sister never returned the same. The scale terrifies. Herodotus chronicles echo Scythian godwives, but reality was a machine. Body trade veiled as right, where Tomyris' loyal Amazons chose for queen and self, forging tribal bonds. Ariana feels hope's loss like chest weight. Fiancé Cargan watches from afar, powerless, for defiance meant death to his kin. Emotion thickens, bitterness in mouth like bile. The system isn't distant, it strangles here and now, showing her fate a drop in thousands' ocean of suffering. The third wave, cruelty's climax, strikes full night. Horror escalation where senses sharpen to agony. This is that moment we began with. Hoof thunder, warrior shadows. But now, step by step, we delve deeper. Ariana's led across the steppe, thongs biting wrists, sticky with fear sweat. Night air heavy, saturated with horse sweat and royal fire smoke, a massive pyre burning ancestor bones. Tomyris's royal tent looms like a monolith, thick felt walls gold-plated, inside wool rugs, eagle feather cushions, whale oil lamps casting flickering shadows. Amazon guards in leather armor and bows eye Ariana like prey, their gazes cold, commanding, appraise. Within, on an ivory bone dais, sits Tomyris, queen with granite-carved face, hair in enemy bone braids, hands heavy with golden bracelets clinking like chains per move. Her voice, deep and slow, echoes, "Welcome, Steppe-gift. Your blood will fortify the Massagete." The shaman starts the rite, burns herb mix, smoke stings eyes, inducing visions. Ariana sees ancestor shades dancing walls. Thongs tighten on wrists and ankles, skin raw from friction, heart thuds drowning drums. Tomyris nears, breath hot on Ariana's neck, kumis and battle blood scent. Queen's hands, strong from years a horse, tear the dress, touch cold, merciless as steel. The act unfolds slowly, ritually. Tomyris's lips on skin, bite, blood taste salty metallic, trickling Ariana's lip, mixing tears. Ariana's screams dissolve in steppe wind, howling like damned souls beyond tent. Body lashing, sticky skin slips in. Sweat, bracelets clink rhythmically like verdict. Queen dominates, eyes black as abyss, gazing with lust divine certainty blend. Amazon attendants watch, murmuring spells, hands ready to quell resistance. Fear's stench, sour animal, fills space. Blood on Tomyris's hands gleams lamplit. Thongs dig deeper, bruising like ownership brands. Ariana battles inwardly. Pain rips inside. Mind cries escape, but body betrays. Breaking comes in waves. Hope flickers out like rain-quenched fire. In resistant spark, her eyes meet Tomyris's. Defiance flicker, swiftly snuffed, but soul-etched. This isn't a night, it's ritual destruction. Tomyris's system steals not just body, but soul, turning woman vessel for greater good. In this peak tension moment, as you empathize with Ariana deepest, share this story, the one historians silence. Spread it so truth doesn't perish in steppe wind, so the world learns Tomyris's dark face. Ariana lies in the royal tent, her body aching, mind shattered like clay under hooves. But this isn't the end. It's an echo across the endless steppe. Her story, personal and devastating, is just one thread in the vast fabric of the Scythian Empire, spanning from the Black Sea shores to the Altai peaks, enduring for centuries from the 7th to 3rd BCE, forming a network of tribes where nomad freedom intertwined with trade in blood and flesh. Scythians, famed to Greeks as bow and horse masters, dominated Silk Road routes, bartering silk, gold, and slaves, exchanging captured women for weapons and wine from distant realms. In this world, the rite of the first night wasn't a massage-te local superstition, but Tomyris's power tool, spreading across the tribal confederation. After crushing Cyrus, the queen leveraged it to forge alliances. Chosen women from conquered groups bridged chieftains, their bodies currency of loyalty. Fertility control was key. Shamans claimed the rite infused Tomyris's elite genes into weaker lines, breeding an unbeatable warrior army. Women's trade thrived. Thousands shipped yearly from steppe camps to Persian markets or as ally gifts, the rite of the first night, the first link. It marked them purified, primed for exchange. Shift to the chilling scale. Each year, in massive tribal assemblies, thousands of victims, estimates run 5,000 to 10,000 women from tribes like Isidones to Budini, pass through the ritual machine. Archaeologists unearth Kurgan mass graves with tattoo scars, womb symbol amulets bloodstained, Herodotus texts echoing Scythian godwives that were really abduction catalogs. Empire hubs like Massagete camps along the Sir Daria or Araxes mimicked makeshift cities. Hundreds of felt tents encircling mother goddess temples to Tabiti or Artimpasa, where ritual pyres burned ceaselessly, air thick with incense smoke and chosen cries. These cities, with selection plazas, hide-scroll gift ledgers, Amazon guards, pulsed as the system's heart. Here, Tomyris directed policy, sending rune-etched clay tablet couriers to harvest blood. Her 530 BCE triumph over Cyrus climaxed this machine. Post-battle, Persian captives and women from subjugated lands flooded rites, fortifying Massage-te forces. Tomyris's politics proved brutally efficient. The ritual curbed population, quashed revolts, men whose fiancés were dedicated turned obedient, defiance spelling exile, or death for kin. Temples with bone altars and gold statues of goddesses bearing Tomyris's face embodied it. Women's bodies as empire fuel, blood as loyalty glue. Why so advantageous to power? The system preserved elite blood purity. Tomyris and her Amazon court believed their steppe and battle-marked genes elevated the tribe, purging weaknesses from fringes. It was dominance incarnate, shaming rebels by holding families hostage to the rite, reinforcing hierarchy. Weaker tribes paid women tribute to dodge conquest. Strabo's accounts detail Scythian ritual marriages that were nomad eugenics. Elites swelled in power while thousands vanished in tent shadows. After Cyrus's fall, Tomyris scaled it empire-wide. Her Avenger legend cloaked tyranny, Persian victory fueled by an army strengthened on victim blood. Ritual smoke scent, bracelet clinks, prayer whispers, all wove inevitability, snuffing resistance like steppe sparks in grass. But pause. This darkness isn't mere past echo. Today, in cultures where tradition still excuses women's control, we see its evolution, from steppe rites to veiled violence in patriarchal societies of the Middle East or Central Asia. The rite of the first night lingers in myths, but its spirit persists in forced marriages, human trafficking masked as honor, where power systems steal bodies under purity or loyalty pretexts. Tomyris's Scythians remind us, even liberated great civilizations thrived on suffering, and if we don't name it, history loops back. Grasping this scale ignites fury, rage at those romanticizing nomads as equality pioneers, while under steppe grass lay thousands of broken souls. The Scythian Empire didn't fall to swords. It crumbled because victim blood poisoned the roots. Ariana, though one of many, embodies it. Her tears accuse the great and warn that a built system vanishes only through fight. Ariana stumbles from the royal tent, collapsing onto the steppe grass. Stars twinkle overhead like indifferent witnesses, her breath fading in the memory of stolen innocence, her final glance at Tomyris, a shadow in the firelight, searing her soul. When we romanticize the past, ignoring victims' pain, history repeats in new forms of violence. This Scythian darkness reminds us, freedom without justice leads to horror. Subscribe, like, and comment. Do you know similar history secrets? Next video. Don't miss the truth.